السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسوله الأمين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أما بعد. So because yesterday we spoke about loving the Prophet ﷺ, it only makes sense for us to speak about loving the companions of the Prophet ﷺ today. We want to begin with a hadith that's narrated in Sahih Muslim, where people came to Aisha radiallahu anha and they said that there are people who are cursing the companions of the Prophet ﷺ, including Abu Bakr and including Umar. So Aisha radiallahu anha, her response was, مِمَّا تَعْجَبُونَ. What are you surprised about? أَتَعْجَبُونَ مِنْ هَذَا. Are you surprised because of this? Then look at her wisdom. She said, انقطع. She said that their good deeds, انقطع عنهم العمل فأحب الله أن لا ينقطع عنهم الأجر. She said their good deeds have stopped. They're not able to do any deeds anymore. So Allah loved that the ajr would not stop from them. Meaning they're not able to do any action to gain any more reward. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loved for them to keep getting reward. And that is when these people curse them, they take from whatever good deeds these people have on the Day of Judgment. So they're still continuing to get ajr. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said in the famous hadith, لا تسبوا أصحابي. Do not revile, do not curse my companions. Now, in his wisdom sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he didn't just stop there, but he added something in the hadith. Because someone might not curse the companions, but feel that he's better than them, or that he's even equal to them in good deeds and in action and activity. But the Prophet ﷺ continued the hadith that if one of you, the later generation, so if one of us today brought forth the mountain of Uhud, the size of the mountain of Uhud, in gold, in solid gold, it would not equal a mud from what the companions would present. So a mud is like two handfuls like this. And the Prophet ﷺ didn't say a mud of gold, but anything of barley, of wheat, of dates. If you presented a mountain of solid gold the size of Uhud, it would not equal just a mud from the hands of any of the companions of the Prophet ﷺ. And Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhuma, he used to say, لا تسبوا أصحاب Muhammad. Do not curse the companions of Muhammad. So then he says, فَمُقَامُ أَحَدِهِمْ سَاعَةً خَيْرٌ مِّنْ عَمَلِ أَحَدِكُمْ 40 سَنَةً. He said for one of them to stay for moments, sa'a, just moments with the Prophet ﷺ, is better than your work, 40 years worth of your work. Yani for them to stay for moments with the Prophet ﷺ is better than 40 years of good deeds that you can present. So religiously, we respect, we do not revile the companions of the Prophet ﷺ because they're the ones who preserved the Quran. They're the ones who preserved the Sunnah. They're the ones who preserved this deen and gave victory to it and brought it to us. And for that reason, if we revile them, if we attack any of their character, we're actually attacking the foundation of our religion. We're attacking the Quran and how it was gathered. When you attack Muawiyah radiallahu anhu, he was one of the scribes. He would write the Quran as it was being revealed to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When you attack him, you're attacking the authenticity of the Quran. That's why the great scholar Abdullah ibn Mubarak, a man asked him who is better, Muawiyah ibn Abi Sufyan or Umar ibn Abdul Aziz. And Umar ibn Abdul Aziz, even though he was about number 13 of the Khulafa, the scholars and historians considered him the fifth rightly guided Khilafah. So Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman, Ali, and the fifth of the rightly guided Khulafa in that style of righteousness was Umar ibn Abdul Aziz. So this man asked Abdullah ibn Mubarak, the scholar, who is better, Muawiyah radiallahu anhu, the companion, or this great Khalifa later on that came, Umar ibn Abdul Aziz? And Abdullah ibn Mubarak rahimahullah says, the dust in the nostrils of Muawiyah while he's with the Prophet ﷺ is better than Umar ibn Abdul Aziz. So this is part of our religion then, to respect and to love the companions like that. But on top of that, we also emotionally and for other reasons love them. And that includes because the Prophet ﷺ loved them and because they loved him. And it goes naturally. If you love someone very much and they love someone else very much, you naturally then begin to have an affinity towards that other individual. And if you just know someone and they love someone that you love very much, Even in sports, this is true. Someone loves your team, whatever it is, you naturally start to connect with that individual. So the Prophet ﷺ, number one, he loved them. And he loved each and every single one of them. In the Battle of Tabuk, there were over 1,000 companions. And the Prophet ﷺ asked about every single one of them by name to see if they head out and set forth with the army or not. In the Battle of Dhatul Riqa', on the way back from Dhatul Riqa', which was very far, which was like 600 kilometers outside of Medina. So on the way back now from the battle, Jabir ibn Abdullah, he had a camel that was old and very slow. So he had fallen way behind the army. And Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam then fell back with him, slowed down until he came side by side with Jabir radiallahu anhu. And Jabir at the time, he was 23 years old. So the Prophet ﷺ is going to strike up a conversation with this young man. And one of the most interesting things for young people, what subject? Aywa, thank you, single brothers, thank you. Absolutely, it's marriage. So the Prophet ﷺ asked him, did you get married, O Jabir? And Jabir radiallahu anhu said, yes. He said, did you marry a bikr, a virgin girl? He said, no, I actually married a woman that was married before. So the Prophet ﷺ asked him, why didn't you marry a virgin woman? Yani, you're a virgin, marry a virgin. And he says that when my father died, he left I have a lot of siblings, like 9 of them. So I wanted an older woman who is experienced so she can also take care of them. Then the Prophet ﷺ told Jabir, he said, when we get to Medina, we're not going to enter Medina directly. We're going to camp a little outside of Medina so your wife can hear about your return and she can prepare a namariq for you, the cushions in the house. Yani, she'll beautify herself and organize the house for you. So when you come back, the house is neat and organized. And he said, Ya Rasulullah, we don't have any cushions. So the Prophet ﷺ saw that Jabir radiallahu anhu was very poor. So he says, will you sell me this camel of yours, Ya Jabir? And this camel was an old camel way behind the army. And Jabir radiallahu anhu said, yes, I would sell it to you. He's in need of the money. So the Prophet ﷺ tells him, would you sell it to me for a dirham? Not a gold dinar, but a silver dirham. And Jabir said that would not be fair. He said, would you sell it to me for 2 dirhams? He said, that wouldn't be fair. So the Prophet ﷺ tells him, inshallah, when we go back to Medina, you will see khair, you will see some good, inshallah. And after they arrived in Medina, the Prophet ﷺ sent Jabir radiallahu anhu 600. A slow camel was worth 300 dirhams. The Prophet ﷺ sent him 600 dirhams with a message saying, keep your camel. This is how the Prophet ﷺ loved his companions. And because he loved them so much, we love them as well. Because of our love also of the Prophet ﷺ. But on the flip side, we also love them because of how much they loved the Prophet ﷺ. And you cannot read about the Battle of Uhud and see how Talha radiallahu anhu defended the Prophet ﷺ with his right hand so much until it became paralyzed and then conclude by hating Talha. It's impossible. You cannot naturally read this story and hate Talha radiallahu anhu for how much he loved and defended the Prophet ﷺ. And that's why anyone who reviles or says anything negative about the companions of the Prophet ﷺ, our golden rule, we question their deen instantly. Anyone who reviles the companions, we question their deen. We don't care who he is, what they say, what they do. We question them instantly. So from their love to the Prophet ﷺ, an example is that of Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu. On the day of the Hijrah. So Abu Bakr was hoping that he would be the companion of the Prophet ﷺ to go from the Hijrah, from Mecca to Medina. And he had prepared 2 camels just in case he is the companion who goes with the Prophet ﷺ. So the Prophet ﷺ comes in and he tells him, get your things ready. So Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu says, As-suhbah bi-abi anta wa ummi ya Rasulullah. I'm going to be your companion. May my father and mother be sacrificed for you. And the Prophet ﷺ tells him, Na'am as-suhbah. Yeah, we're going to be the companions on this journey. What is this journey? They're going to try to sneak out of Mecca to Medina, while every major pathway to Medina is going to be blocked. There is going to be a price on their heads of 100 camels each in one narration, or 100 camels both. People are going to try to capture them, to arrest them. They're going to try to assassinate the Prophet ﷺ. So it is a life-threatening journey. Life-threatening. And Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu was so pleased that he was the one to accompany the Prophet ﷺ on this life-threatening journey. He was so pleased that he cried. Aisha radiallahu anha was a small girl at the time. She said, لم أدري أن أحدا يبكي من شدة الفرح حتى رأيت أبا بكر يبكي. She said, back then I didn't know that people could cry out of happiness until I saw Abu Bakr crying out of happiness. But crying out of happiness for what? For this dangerous journey. Let me put it in a modern context. Your friend comes to you and he says, I am wanted. NYPD has my pictures posted everywhere. FBI has me in the top 10. CNN, all the channels have my picture, and there's a reward, $100,000. There will be roadblocks, people searching for us. And of all my friends, I have chosen you to join me on this journey. And you become so happy that you cry out of happiness. La Allah, you'll be like, you know what did you say the reward was? Just wait here 1 second. These were the companions of the Prophet ﷺ. And that's why we love them so much. And it's natural, we can't help but love them. You read about them and how they give up their life and everything for the Prophet ﷺ, and you naturally love them. And it's part of our religion to love them, and it's preserving our religion to love them and to revere them. Jazakumullah khairan for your attentive listening. Sallallahu barak ala Muhammad. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.